Hey, this is Chris, keeping it real, facts over fear. It's time for the weekly COVID-19 chart and projections. And so here we have them. Not a whole lot has changed since last week. We've updated for the last week's data. You see the blue line, which is all of the data from the beginning of this pandemic's presence in North Carolina on approximately the 25th of March until today, which is September 6, 2020. Excuse me. At some point I'll publish all of these together in a way that makes sense, but right now I just want to do a week by week look at what's going on so we can see some trends possibly. So nothing has changed from last week as far as the notes go, down to here. The blue line, which includes all data, has shifted right about 4 days since my last report on August 30th, 2020. Do want to make note that North Carolina entered reopening 2.5 on September 4th, 2020, which means bars are still closed, movie theaters are still closed, parks are open, and there was one other thing that opened up too. Oh, gyms are now officially open. Of course, they all have some sort of constraints on how many people can be there. You still have to social distance. You still have to wear a mask. All those kinds of things. So I would take note that the blue line appears to be shifting to the right here over the last couple weeks. We can see the effects here where it's below the curve. This was during when UNC and all the other major universities in our state opened, and they didn't stay open for very long because we started getting not a massive spike in cases, but a significant, let's just put it that way, a significant number of cases more than we might have expected. Given the data that was being delivered right before the schools opened. So I know UNC opened on August 10th. Students started moving in the week before. So here we are on September 6th. So that wave has kind of gone through the system. The death rate did not go up significantly or even marginally, actually. The 7-day rolling average for today was 27, and so that is very good news. So a lot of people, a lot more people than you would have expected contracted the disease, but they did not die from it, nor were they hospitalized for it, because the hospitalization rate continues to go down. So we're going to do another one of these next week. We know that today, or tomorrow, of course, is Labor Day, and so all of the experts who have been wrong on just about everything thus far, which is why I'm doing these graphs. Not that I consider myself an expert on these things, I'm just keeping an actual record of what's going on so that we can evaluate things later on in the light of actual data and analysis rather than, you know, just making flippant statements on TV and radio and on the internet. The effects of Labor Day will not be evident next Sunday because it will only be 6 days, and we know that the virus takes 5 days to incubate, so we might start seeing the beginnings of something, but since not too much testing data gets put into the system over the weekend, I expect that sometime late week after next, so the week of the 14th, so maybe about Thursday the 18th, we'll see the effects of whether or not Labor Day has been something to worry about, or if we are indeed well into this pandemic, and there are actually a huge number of people who have been infected, and the virus is having an increasingly tough time jumping from one host to another. Now, of course, the other side of that coin is that maybe masks are effective. I still don't believe it. And I just look at these curves and I can see that they have not been effective because masks have been mandated now for almost 6 weeks, and we're not seeing any significant trend towards getting this blue curve to go to the right. Now we're seeing a little bit, but it could be one, of course, or it could be a totally unknown factor. There are so many factors to take into account, and I'm only taking into account my money is on this virus has gone through the population to an extent that most people don't appreciate. Other people think that the curve here is starting to flatten because of masks. I don't believe that masks work in terms of communicating this disease versus aerosol, because they don't stop the aerosol, where the virus particles are so small they easily travel through the fabric. Along with the water droplets they're riding on, they are so small. It's not like a cough or a sneeze where you can see, where you can put something against a very strong light and a dark background and see it. You can't see it. A test like that would never reveal what's actually coming out of someone's mouth or nose. But we shall see. I am open to the idea, simply because it's a possibility. All right, if you have any questions or comments, leave them in the section below. We will see how this works out. Like and subscribe. We appreciate when you do, and we will see you on the next fact-filled video.